Hey, this is Tiger. Welcome to my stream. City Radar self-awareness. Yes, and Acura 94. Moin to you. Yes, I have tried to get a new setup for the stream. Maybe it works better. Spectre, hey. So great to see you guys. Rearranged everything, tried to make it work better. We will see what happens. AJ, you might have missed her already. She's already asleep. We've been to Comic-Con at Stuttgart today and more or less just returned. So she is beat and already in bed. And I'm trying to fight with my internet. And let's see if anything comes out of it. And we can look at the Transport for Wales Pacer DLC that has been released during the week, probably already forgotten, but since I don't have that much time during the week nowadays, in the recent days I will do the unboxing at the Sunday instead of another Be Real. So first a disclaimer, I'm still an ambassador and as such I get the DLC product codes for free, and as always you will hear from me my honest opinion on everything, and DTG is fair enough not to give us any directions what to say about the DLCs. Lofty, I am unashamed curious to see how you handle Welsh place names. Yeah, I've actually looked into that, and to make matters worse, I actually intend to discuss all the Welsh place names that are in the destination board of the Pacer and where they are, and I've prepared a little presentation for that, so maybe we will see how that works. So the DLC is the Cardiff City Network. We never have this, we never played this before, so a first for that. And well, wrong button. Unboxing Transport for Wales Class 142 Pacer Juniper. Hey, yeah. Inspector says Pacers are funny like the German Schienenbus, and thank you so much, Lofty, for resubs. It is really annoying. Yes, and it cut out again. So, restarted and cut out already. We are so back, says Juniper. Are you really back? I can't always really see that. Before that I tried to get stuff. Hey, interesting. Now you are offline, but we can hear you. The internet is doing really weird things. Yesterday I was playing with a couple of friends and I was hearing them on Discord, but I was already cut out and nobody was hearing me, and I was glitching around in the game that we played. So sometimes it only works in one direction and not in any more aspect that he can't, so maybe my net is down too. Well, this is the defragmentation of the internet, I'm afraid. So I don't know how this really works and what I can do to make it better. If there is any point to restart something. At the moment, the Twitch stats that are shown to me, chat is glitching. Thanks for that. There's Acura. Yeah, it is glitching back and forth. So sometimes I'm getting messages from you. Don't know if you can hear me at the moment. The stats say I am offline or whatever. I don't know what the stats actually tell me. So sound and video are good at Juniper, so at the moment it seems to work again. I will just bulldoze through this. I can't help, and I can't really see whether I am live or not live. I called my provider today, and as always, the AI voice told me that they are very much aware that there are Rückweg-Probleme, or whatever they call this, some kind of backwards connectivity problems, and they are working on it, and they will probably have fixed it in 3 days. Okay. But it's going on. And Akura says, I have a picture, sound, chat, and view counter. Well, then you have more than me. I have a viewer counter, yes. I have a viewer counter. Spectre is also back again, and it tells me 0 viewers, and if I refresh it, I am live for exactly 1 second. I have no viewers. Well, just let it run. So if occasionally you can drop me a line, that would be great, because then I know that you're still with me, and that I am sending something out into the void, and I'm not totally connected. So disconnected. So the timetable that comes with the new DLC, the Cardiff City Network timetable for 2019 are those trains, the Pacer, and then new liveries for the sprinters and for the super sprinters, not with the current Transport for Wales livery, but with the so-called XATW, what is Arriva Transport for Wales liveries. And in the beginning of this millennium, more or less, the trains in Wales were run by Arriva UK trains, what at the time belonged actually to the Deutsche Bahn, just like the DB UK Schenker stuff for freight, until they sold it. Yes, true. DB till 22, I think, and then they sold it on the Arriva UK enterprise, and now it probably belongs to some private equity firm, like everything in the end belongs to some private equity firm. Yeah, and at the time when Arriva did no longer provide the services for Transport for Wales, it was taken over for a very short period by a company called Keolis, what is more or less a daughter of the French SNCF, the French train running company. And after that, it was taken over by Transport for Wales as an operator for the last resort, and at least viewers are offered for purchase and deny. Away with it. Thank you for traveling with Deutsche Bahn in Welsh language. Yeah. Classy. So first the Germans, they sold it, then the French, then came the pandemic, and yeah, now it is the Welsh on their own with an operator for the last resort, which is more or less a government subsidiary running the trains. You can find some services in this timetable with the Class 37 and the Class 66. Obviously, so that those trains work, you need to have the Cardiff network. The only train that comes with the DLC is the Pacer in 2 liveries, though. One with the ex-Arriva Transport for Wales livery without the branding, but still with the white and blue, and then the slightly newer ones with this black box telling you that a new era is coming and this train is shortly coming to an end. And those are the trains that are in the journey that comes with the DLC. So journey mode, rail journeys for Cardiff City. Here, Transport for Wales Class 142 journey, and there is an introduction module. You can see it was actually quite fun playing it, so I actually finished this one chapter. Donkey wrong. Well, the first service couldn't be finished because of a weird bug. Interesting bug though, because you are held forever by a red signal because two trains cannot leave Cardiff Central because they are actually two different services. One wants to leave to the east, the other one wants to leave to the west, and unfortunately they are coupled together, so they are actually pulling in both directions. On each end of this train there is a driver sitting and firing up their diesel trains, and it is every time you play the service there might be a different outcome. You can actually bet on which train finally makes it and pulls the other train into their direction. But the problem is that you never get a red signal because of a proceed signal held by the red signal forever. And I actually managed to fast travel and uncouple the trains, and then they leave and you get a signal to proceed and you can finish the service, but for whatever reason it doesn't give you the medal in the journey mode. So this is what I did in preparation for the stream so far. And then the interesting thing about this DLC, and on the other hand what put me off this DLC so far, is you can see it here in the service preview, is that it is not really a route going from A to B, but it is a network. You have more short routes overlapping, going in circles sometimes, and this is actually something that I like, but the problem is that you never get into a flow according to my experience so far, because every time you have to go through the bottleneck around Cardiff Central with 15 miles, and it all is slowed down quite a lot. Well, we will play a couple of those shorter services at the same time, digging into the Cardiff network, Cardiff Central Network, Cardiff City Network, and looking at the trains. It's just trains, so the trains look good, in my opinion. We're starting at Penarth and are driving towards the city. Penarth is the terminus of a one-track line going out to the south. What is nice is that the DRA is actually set all the time in the rear cab. Where are we going to? To Bargot. Bargot. And here is our destination thing. And I've actually tried to find out where all those places are. Let's fix the rear as well. Bargot. And the wipers. Penarth. Actually here at the end of the line. Buffer block. And we are going back towards Cardiff. And then out on the other end to the north. We're not going to Bargot because it is not on the map. The guard is buzzing us that we can leave. So this is what we are preparing for. The line to Bargot goes through Heath High Level, and I guess this is where this service is taking us. Don't forget the DRA, as I always do. But by now I know that if I don't hear the train noise, the diesel engine, then it's because I forgot the DRA. I think we're starting at 35 miles here. Line is going downhill from here, so this needs to be taken into account when trying to stop this train, especially on the wet rail. The scenery is pretty, in my opinion. And there are a lot of passengers at those little stations. Grangetown. Grangetown is already after the merger with a line coming from the left. What is the line to Barry and along the coast, more or less? Even Vor, so nice to see you. Raccoon with angel wings. So those Pacers are more modernized, or probably the most modern versions of the Pacers that exist. Here's the merger of the routes. One station is in the DLC that you can see here, Cogan. The rest of the line is not in the DLC. Those Pacers here have different doors as compared to the Pacers that we know from the Blackpool branches. Not 4-element folding doors, but 2-element folding doors. How fast can we go? 45 at this point? 40 to Grangetown.
shortly be arriving at Grangetown.
See? This guy helps you with the Welsh pronunciation. You have train announcements, but you have to click this receiver.
Grangetown.
Just like the Pacers did in the Blackpool branches. Limit drops to 20 again, because we are now getting into the yard area with the depot. The depot serving Cardiff Central Station. We could turn left here in the DLC. This route is in the DLC through Waun-gron Park towards Radyr. But we're not going this way now, but we are going to the right, as you can see on the junction signal. We're going into Cardiff Central. Here's that junction to the left via Waun-gron Park to Radyr, and to the right to Cardiff Central. I'm offline again, at least the chat. Oh, maybe I'm back now. At least the chat says, welcome to the chat room. I must have gotten some connection. Again, the stats are at 0 viewers again. So, if you guys hear me. And welcome back to CD Radar. I'm so sorry. We made it. Fortunately, we cannot get the camera over the rim. It was almost 20 seconds. And now you're back again. 23 actually. Well, I'll have a look at my video collection that I get out of this stream here. Welcome to the chat room. It says we might have reconnected. Are we reconnected? I don't know, because everyone went home. Well, I said I will bulldoze through this and we will see what actually gets out into the world. We stopped at Queen Street, having passengers board here. Set the DRA because we stopped at the red light. No, still here. Oh, Acura, so great to have you. But there was not much to see. It is really, 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 really annoying. It is so great that you're still supporting. And it is super frustrating to prepare stuff and then it just does not work. So. Let's get this train to Heath high level and finish the service. Then I will present you with my attempt on pronouncing Welsh names. And on how this DLC makes sense. Here was the switching point. This generation of Pacers has the hydrokinetic transmission, where we just switched from the torque converter to the fluid coupling. And now I have the impression that I'm off again. Don't lose hope, says CD Radar. Alright. And still on Acura. Okay. For you guys, I will finish this stream no matter what and give my presentation. Even though Lofty will probably not be there to correct me on my pronunciation of the Welsh words. Now we're stopping for Heath high level. We just passed the junction towards Heath low level, and Coryton. Yes, mister, use your umbrella above your head and not as a collector for rainwater. And it did not make the last yard. Not even that. So this is Heath high level, as opposed to Heath low level, what is here on a lower level, as you can see. And this is the branch line to Coryton. Single track line with a lot of stations and very little distance to go between the stations. And all I need to do now is to lock the doors, and then we're done. Because remember, oops, someone was jumping out on the wrong side. Bargot is further down the line, but not in the DLC. Perny, good evening to you. Nice that you made it to the party. Yeah. While the game is going back to the main menu, I can present you with the presentation that I prepared when I... No, where are we? To understand the layout of this DLC here. Leseansicht. Wait, Train Sim World 6 is a thing now. Yeah! Holy, this yearly update comes so fast every time. Yes, you slept through it and you probably did not pick up your free starters edition of Train Sim World 6 then. Maps, CD Radyr, maps. I am such a fan of maps. And this here is a part of Wales. The part where Cardiff is, so the southern part. To the right, there is the border towards England. Here is the Bristol Channel. Here is a little bit of Somerset probably. And you can see Swansea, Newport and Cardiff. Southern coast of Wales. And... yeah, what are all the destinations that are in the destination board that you can crank through your Pacer? So I actually took them down and I tried to find out where those places are on the map. And I think I found them. And obviously the most prominent is Cardiff Central, the main station in Cardiff, where we just passed through as far as the internet allowed me to do so. And this is on the main line between Swansea and Newport. As indicated here, from Swansea it goes on more or less along the coast until, well, the land ends, and to the southwestern corner of Wales before you get your feet wet in the Irish Sea. And beyond Newport the line actually goes on and you can go towards England to Bristol, and then through the Great Western Express to London Paddington, or you can go to Gloucester, or you can go to Hereford. I think this is where this line goes to, and then through Worcester towards Birmingham, through or up the Lickey Incline that we know from the Cross City route in Birmingham. So this is just to get the bearing a bit. Yeah, so Swansea, Newport are important cities, and this is the main line connecting those two cities and passing through Cardiff Central. But not a lot is happening on the main line here. We're just using the main line in a very little way when we go from Cardiff Central to the ramp that takes us up to Cardiff Queen Street onto this line here. And the purple lines here are actually in the DLC and are used a lot. This is Cardiff Queen Street going up the ramp and to the left, and here Queen Street, and the branch line where you go through Heath low level, where we didn't because we stopped here further on. Let's take the bay out of it here. That's what I mean. Heath high level. Heath high level is not yellow because it is not a destination. In the destination board here we stopped, and here's the junction. Going to the left you can go the single track line to Coryton in the end, and if you go to the opposite direction from Cardiff Queen Street, not down the ramp to Cardiff Central, you end up in Cardiff Bay, what is also only one station, and then you go to the bay, as you can see, to the Bristol Channel. The other line that we can travel is starting here Penarth. What we actually did with our service, and when you don't go to the right to Cardiff Central and Queen Street, you can go to the left through Waun-gron Park and other stations to a place called Radyr. And some services commute between those two. Then there is a connecting line from this station Radyr to Cardiff Queen Street through Cathays and Llandaf, for example. I think there's another one in between. So actually you have a circle that you can go if you start in Radyr, Cathays, Cardiff Queen Street, Cardiff Central, Waun-gron Park, and then back. So a bit of a circle feeling here. And what I like in the DLC is that you actually get a lot of different services crisscrossing here and there, and also one more line is more or less indicated here with one station, Cogan. What is the bigger line? 2-track line that goes along the coast here in real life, goes through Barry and branches out to Barry Island, and you can go to Cardiff Airport here and come back to the main line at a place called Bridgend. But that is not in a DLC, but it is more or less shown that the line goes on beyond Cogan, and this is where it would actually lead you. Barry Island, and Bridgend are destinations that you can find in your destination board in the Pacer, and you can crank them because services end there. So they need to be in the destination board. From here, you have branch lines going to a place that sounds, if you try to find out what it sounds like, a bit like my steak. For someone with a German accent, it sounds a bit like someone talking about his pork chop or his piece of meat. Der Hund hat my steak geklaut. My steak. And leading there, and then it ends beyond Swansea. The line goes on, as I already said, towards the end. And Milford Haven and Pembroke Dock you can find in your destination board. They are more or less the end of the line in that direction before you get to the Irish Sea. Interesting enough, there is not a connecting line between the southwest and the northwest corner of Wales, so no railway line running down this corner from the maps, at least that I found and watched, but the line coming from the north ends in Aberystwyth, and if you want to go further south you have to go inland, and then there's one branch line more or less connecting there, or travel back to England and go all the way around here. And also, if you look at what the lines do when they go on beyond the DLC, at Radyr, for example, you can go on going to a place called Tufts Well, Pontypridd, probably, Treherbert, and at Pontypridd it is a branching out, or a branch line going to a place called Abercynon. Aber is, well, a river, right? That goes into the Irish Sea at Aberystwyth. And this is where you have those names Aberdare. And another branch line going to a place called Merthyr Tydfil. Where we stopped at Heath High Level, the line goes on to Caerphilly, Eastern Penarth, Bargot, what was our train heading for, and the end of the line would be in Rhymney. And this is actually quite an interesting layout, and this goes on from a line branching out close to Newport that gets you to Abu Vale Town, with some places in between, but the only destination that I find in the Pacer is this Abu Vale Town. It looks a bit like a fishbone, right? Not really a network of branch lines connecting, but one main line, and then going out, branching off like a fishbone into the country, and then ending there. So actually, not what you usually see in a railroad map that always disconnects, and you can go in more or less big circles. And in this context, I think the DLC makes sense, because we are more or less here at the center of this node where most of those branch lines connect around Cardiff Central. Coryton, it ends in former times. There was a line connecting further on, but those lines are either disused or abandoned. Here you can actually find a gate at Coryton that stops trains from going on. Probably we will have a look at this. So, unfortunately, Loft is not here to correct me on my mispronunciation of the Welsh place names. Nevertheless, I tried my very best. I'm open for corrections as always. Hold it, is here the update? Oh yeah, apparently that was what he said before. Yeah, and now let's find a service where we can go from this Coryton to Radyr, more or less half the circle or full circle or something like this. And I think he kicked up a bus, not Barry Island, that is from Cogan to Coryton, Coryton to Radyr. Yeah, this is a service that I want to play. So, quick check. Is there still someone here who can hear me? Then I will keep on talking. If not, I will just drive my service and Coryton. This is where I said a gate in former times. The line went on. Now it does not anymore. I keep on, Akura. I keep on trying. So, and now we're cranking through all those names that I said. Abercynon, Aberdare, Bargood, Barry Island, Bridgend, Caerphilly, Cardiff, Queen Street, Coryton, Abu Whale, Maestake, Merthyr, blub, PQR, Radyr. When you're setting this, if this lever is pointing to the front or respectively the back, then typically it should be aligned properly so that you can read it from the outside. Radyr. I love how this line is overgrown here. And if I'm not mistaken, we are in a 45 limit here on this Single track line. Next stop is Whitchurch. Yeah, immersive, right? Beautiful on top.
We will shortly be arriving at Whitchurch.
Whitchurch. Ladies and gentlemen. Whistling for the level crossing. Rhiwbina.
The next stop is Rhiwbina.
Rhiwbina. Rhiwbina. Rhiwbina. And Akura asks, do the public announcements pronounce all city names correct? Not that they just use an AI model not trained to Welsh. They claim they have a real Welshman pronouncing it. And if Just Trains claims that, then I think you can rely on that. If we had Lofty still around, he could tell us. So probably the internet is out again. And he told me, stop, don't move. Huh? Almost or most of the time after 22 to 23 minutes, there is an internet reconnect on your side. Is it a reconnect yet? No, am I back again? Yeah, well... Probably this is the time that whatever is happening in the line needs to recover or whatever. Thank you for letting me know. That is extremely helpful. Ty Glas is the next station.
The next stop is Ty Glas.
Oh, all those people sitting in one spot, now they are disentangling themselves. What did the in-game stopping marker do here? Oh well. Wants us to go that far here at Ty Glas. What I don't like on this guard buzzer is the cooldown time between two buzzes. You can't buzz really fast with your keyboard shorts, I mean. Now we're getting to Heath low level station. You remember our last service ended at Heath high level. Now we're going to low level station. And we always have to stop at a red light at Heath low level. This is why we had this fixed caution signal. And Acura says he never buzzes. Because he's too lazy for that. Well, I can see. Still, if the guard buzzes, then I think it is nice to buzz back. If there is no one to buzz to you, okay, that was a bit harsh in the end, but still. Here we are. Whoops. Shot the camera up in the air. From here, 25. And here is the junction where we went to Heath high level towards Bargot in the last service. Bah.
We will shortly be arriving at Cardiff Queen Street.
So here's a very short distance where we can actually go to 75 with our Pacer. What is the maximum authorized speed for the Pacer? As you can see. Would you set the DRA if the signal switches the moment you stop? You would not. Well, probably if it is already green, I would not switch it anymore and set it. Actually not sure whether I stopped at the red signal. Probably I did. So instead of showing you the junction, I should have set the DRA. It's a nice model though, what Just Trains built. Morpeth for 25. So we can slow down all the way. Typically it is enough with West Code 1 to slow down for the 25. The overspeed loops did not stop us at any rate. So far. Junction signal. It is absolutely really like the modern door style, but it fits better in the Transport for Wales setting than in BPB, in the Blackpool branches. The thing is, I am happy, absolutely happy with both versions of the doors, the way Just Trains modeled them. They look great in the 4 segment style, and they look also great in the modern style with the 2 segments. So here, let's not forget the DRA this time. We are back at Cardiff Queen Street. Last time we came from that direction, stopped here at platform 4, I think. Yep. Now stopping at 2. This is why we had to slow down to 15 miles. And then there is a bay platform that is not called platform 0, but platform 1 here. And here are the trains that go to Cardiff Bay typically. Yes, Cardiff Bay. Those trains here on number Mm-hmm. 11 minutes this time. So does that mean I'm back? Because I can read your chat. But I did not get the reconnect this time. So you probably can't hear me. So things are coming in, but nothing is going out. See, he says, so you can hear me at the moment. All right. Weird as weird as weird. Let's get that train home. Let's hope that my internet provider can actually fix this problem within 3 days, as they announced. Nakura says it's Vodafone, so he would bet against it. Well, I don't think that they can do it in 3 days. But maybe they can improve it again. They can maybe finish their stupid roadworks that is going on since the end of August. And close all the holes that they dug. And then the rain, the heavy rain, does not necessarily need to run in all the holes and make the cables wet and damp and whatever. No, I forgot to slow down for the ramp. 15 for the ramp. So now the same thing that we had before, but the other way around. We're coming down the ramp, running into this dale. We're going to platform 8, what is to the leftmost. Now we should be down in the dale. Cardiff Central once more. Sorry, not sorry, this train is not in service. Here on the other side. Ah, they did not leave. Those are the sprinters. The 150 and another 150 and this ex-Arriva Transport for Wales livery. Doesn't say Arriva anymore, but it still has the Arriva colors on it. And the 153 Super Sprinter comes in this livery as well. Fortunately, we can't close the doors because the signal is still red. So I don't know about you, in my opinion, this is a really pristine model, very classy. The textures, the shadows, it really looks cozy. Still red. This is a situation though where we cannot start without closing the doors at the red light, because otherwise the red light will never switch. Probably. Doors are closed. Light is still not switching. So maybe this was not correct. Then we open the doors again. I stand corrected. And Acura agrees that it is a pristine model. The start of a new journey. The Transport for Wales in the Keolis incarnation by SNCF. It was a short journey though. But at any rate properly announced. Ah, now the signal changed at least. So I was wrong, it can change without us closing the doors. Then we dawdled away. Ninian Park is next stop. What is now this part that connects around the depot towards Radyr from this side.
The next station stop is Ninian Park.
Ninian Park. So I thought for a moment that the game will crash on me. We have a green light. and 11 minutes again. So it just cuts down the internet every couple of minutes. Let's see if there is something coming. And now you're back. Thank you, Acura, for telling me. Did you still see the things with the signs? Perfect. In photo mode, did we do that? When I was discussing the weird signs and how you should not put your signs? Well, if so, then you have to suffer a repeat, because that was what I was pointing out here. That if you're actually coming from this direction, it looks like 25 to the right, and it is actually 25 straight ahead and 20 to the right. Probably not the safest way of putting your signs, in a way. Signs missing, and here are the signs. And we are going to Ninian Park. Scenery wise, this DLC is really good, in my opinion. Don't know whether it is accurate, but I enjoy it a lot. That's mean, yeah, 20 hidden behind the 20. 20 hidden behind the 25. That is really a sucker punch. .55 when we start again. Out of Ninian Park. Can't imagine that it is like that in real life. Or you need to know it. Streckenkunde. Well, I can't believe that this is a way of putting your signs in real life. This is more a thing for viewfinder. Ninian Park, ladies and gentlemen, Ninian Park. And this I can say in Welsh. Park Ninian. Probably. Where is it, Ninian Park? Here, maybe. Don't dawdle. Get your train home. May they stack them on top. Yeah, maybe they stack them. That would make sense. So, Waun-gron Park is next.
The next stop is Waun-gron Park.
Waun-gron, that sounds like something, it looks like something from Star Wars, more like. So again, as a reminder, now we are running up this line here. Parallel to the main line, that is more to the right. And Acura says Ninian Park is the station, not the park itself, if I got it right. Alright. Ah, the stadium. Yeah, this can be. Stadiums are often called park. Arms Park. Must be somewhere as well. And now approaching Waun-gron Park. Dang it, yes. I got you, Akko, I got you. Woof.
The next station stop is Waun-gron Park.
Here we are. Waun-gron. Fairwater. Here the Waun-gron Stadium. Can see that it is probably for playing rugby, not football. Yes, I agree, Akura. Pop scenery DLC and gets better with the Pacer, he says. Yep, I have to admit. I wasn't really enchanted with this DLC when I played it first. Because most of the services are rather short. And you don't get into a flow easily. But after I more or less looked at the bigger picture and all those weirdly connecting lines make more sense now. And with the Pacer, it is really enjoyable now. Danescourt.
We will shortly be arriving at Danescourt.
Yeah, Aqua, you're right. The Pacer slows you down. You have more time to look at the scenery or have bigger windows as compared to the Sprinter. What also helps to enjoy the scenery. Yeah, I can totally see that. And it's more enjoyable to play it without rain. Because in the rain you don't see a lot. "10 minutes, 30 seconds. Okay, let's wait until we're back. When Aquara says we're back, then we will start from Danescourt. Micro dub, but stable again. Alright, then we will go on. Happy movie holidays, CD Radyr. Well, I don't know how many videos come out of this stream here. It will be cut in so many pieces. Yellow light. Radyr is the next one. Already cleared to yellow. And CD Radyr as well. This is really every 10-ish minutes, yes? That's super stupid. We arrived at Radyr, and here the line goes on and on along the river until we get to Merthyr Tydfil and Abercynon and Rhymney. No, Rhymney was the end of the other line. That's not true. To Rhymney we go through Heath High Street. Well, that was that. And actually I thought to show you how all this works. We do a service that goes from Radyr here past Cathays and Queen Street to Cardiff Bay. Then we have traveled, I think, most of what is in the DLC. We did not go to Cogan and what is in the DLC of the line towards Barry. But at any rate, Yes, one video on demand more. Well, they must think I've gotten stupid or try to get as many clicks. Nah, what did I do? That was the wrong journey. This is what I really, really hate. If you have a journey chapter that has only one service, it already starts the training module without asking you. Main menu, please. Well, I guess we could call it that, but I meant a real movie event. So what movie holidays are up? Is there a real movie event? Oi. Now everything is confused again. Cardiff City Network. But I wanted to do the rail journeys, right? Cardiff City. Cardiff City. Radyr to Coryton. Queen City to Cardiff Bay. Coryton to Cardiff Bay. Well, there is no service Radyr to Cardiff Bay probably. Oh, at least after these outages you read the chat very instantly fast. Yeah, I got this. I reorganized my setup and now I have the chat in a very prominent place. And I can read it instantly without having to find my phone or something like this. And it is, I think it is presented to me faster than it used to be in the old setup. So, my friends, is there a service? Cardiff Bay, Queen Street, they all... Cardiff Central. Coryton to Cardiff Bay. But we don't have one that goes from Radyr to... Then I need another one that goes from... It is too bad there is no stream to comment. This is really education. Oh, guys. Radyr to Cardiff Central. If it is not going to Radyr to Barry Island, well then let's do this. Then we don't do. But it is at night. I don't want to do it at night. Nobody can see anything at night. Barry, not Barry Island. Barry Island to Merthyr Tydfil. Is there a day service? Radyr. That one we can do. All 5-minute services, you would challenge to do all of them. Yes, it is more or less always between Queen Street and Cardiff Bay. I thought I'd find one that goes from Radyr to Cardiff Bay, but now we are going from Radyr via Radyr to Cogan. Well, it's not Cardiff Bay, it's a little longer, but it is covering the other part of the track that is left. We're going to Barry Island. Alright, we can set this into our destination board. Barry Island at the south coast. We've seen it in the presentation. And some light. Alright. Now I've used the other livery without the black boxes. This is one station. I have to end those markers again, because every time you start an instruction service, then they are turned on. $40. Is that for us as well, or is it only for the left line? No, 45 restart. This interesting Welsh letter with a double L. Llandaf.
The next stop is Llandaf.
Really hard to pronounce. Llandaf. Like in Llandudno. Llandudno. Sometimes it sounds like Llandudno. Llandudno. Llandaf. Llandaf. Llandaf.
We will shortly be arriving at Llandaf.
Llandaf. City radar. London. Yeah, that's what they dream about. I guess I'm back. If not, let me know. Oh, so wrong button. Yes, CD radar, I heard it. And I actually thought nobody will hear it. If you don't hear me, let me know. Yes, I don't think that as well. It's too precise on 10 minutes. And even 70 towards Cathays. Morpeth for the 30. slowing down for Cathays. So the brake sounds are also really pristine in my opinion. You can almost go by the sound alone what step of your Westcote brake you're having on at the moment. Don't really need an indicator for that. Cathays. Now we even have to wait. So, and now we are branching back on the line between Queen Street and Heath, high level and low level. Next signal is careful, clipping trees, boom, boom. I should have warned myself that I have to slow down to 25 instead of enjoying the clipping trees. We're going into Queen Street 3. That means we don't have to slow down to 15. Red light. So, and now we actually have to wait a bit. This thing is going to Cardiff Bay. This thing is going to Bargood. And here is another map of what we are talking about all the time. Here are all the different colors because main line going through Cardiff Central and connecting to the commuter railways here. Penarth, where we started the first trip. Heath high level going on to Bargoed and Rhymney in the end. Heath low level, Ty Glas, Birchgrove, Rhiwbina, Whitchurch and Coryton. And then the gate at the end, where we just started now. Radyr coming in through Llandaf, Cathays, and now going into Queen Street. Now we're going through Central, and then Grangetown, Cogan towards the south coast, Berry Island, and in between we went from Coryton, Queen Street, Central, and then through all the parks, Ninian Park, Waun-gron Park, Fairwater, Danescourt to Radyr. And in the end, I think I will make a full representation of this DLC and have a service from Cardiff Queen Street to Cardiff Bay. What is a long line here in the map, but it is actually quite short. I have to wait for the signal to clear before I can close my doors. And off we go. Down the ramp. Let's not forget to slow down this time. So first we are still at 25. Then the signals, and we're not going the first to the right because that would lead us to the track for the opposite direction, but the second one. Yes. This time we managed to slow down, and straight ahead is the Cardiff Bay. Boom! You almost got hit in the face. Now, again we're going to Cardiff Central 8, or at least we're supposed to go to Cardiff Central 8. And we are routed to Cardiff Central 8. To the leftmost. And once more, Cardiff Central. No, not locked. I have a red signal. I did not pay attention. Sorry, I have to unlock left again. And see if the signal changes. It does. How could I have doubted you?
The next stop is Grangetown.
The sound of the 37 is an amazing sound. Bum, 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 bum. So for a bit we can go 25. We're passing the yard here. But soon we have to slow down to 20. Pass the signal. Bing! Grangetown.
We will shortly be arriving at Grangetown.
16 minutes this time. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Wait for the 20-second before cheering. The 20-second minute. Okay. Cogan.
The next stop is Cogan, where this service ends.
Yeah, he says where the service ends, but it actually does not end.
We will shortly be arriving at Cogan, where this service ends.
Why did I unlock my left doors now? That was not intentional. Okay. Interesting. Doors can be opened if you go with your thick fingers on the wrong key. Then the train stops. But if you keep the throttle into full throttle, it starts again if you close the doors. Interesting. I'm not entirely sure what City Radyr is doing. We are running in some fog. As always, yes. I'm not entirely sure what you were doing. Can only see A but not PT. Well, we will see in the end. First we stop at Cogan. Back to the chat room for the last service tonight. Cardiff Queen Street to Cardiff Bay. It's almost too short to set the train up, but nevertheless. Let's do it. There you are, says Aqua. And so nice that you're still here. Through all this clutter. Let's crank the destination board to Cardiff Bay. Destination light. It's really tough today, yeah, I can see that. I actually did not want to stream, and then between 7 and 8 the internet was stable. Or seemed to be. Until it wasn't anymore. Well, we can make the service within 22 minutes. Okay. So here it says 20. Let's see if we actually get an increase to 20 at this point. Does not look it. Yeah, 20. And still, well, now we're in, so it could, but there was no 20 to see. We are past the sign with the rear, and we're still at 15. So actually we should be allowed to go 20 now according to the sign, but not according to the game. Whereas here's an increase to 20. That I think makes a 25. This actually agrees with the line in the game. Now we are in the 25. But the 20 was not marked before. Now it says we have to slow down to 20 on the switch. But we can't see this 20 either. And now to Cardiff Bay. And you're right, Aqua. I normally go with the signs and not with the points. But it's always interesting to figure out what the game actually is trying to dock you for. And sometimes the signs are wrong and sometimes the speed line is wrong. Here the signs make a lot of sense. So you're right, we should go with the signs here. Cardiff base station. Ending in a buffer block. And here we are. Plotch. Hit an invisible wall. There is actually the water for the bay. What Welsh thing this is, I don't know whether this is the parliament or something. Cumbro, the last word. Is Wales that I recognize. And that was the unboxing of the Pacer. A great model. As always, it's up to you whether you want to invest your money in buying it. It is smallish DLC. A really nice model. It is fun driving it and very, very cozy. And it adds a lot of value to the Cardiff Network DLC, in my opinion. I'm so sorry for the internet problems. I don't know what I am supposed to do. It is getting worse instead of it is getting better. And I hope this will not be like this for the whole winter. I would prefer to have a Tiger partner code. Really? That is so nice of you, Akora. But I don't think that anyone is doing this, and I really wouldn't do this. But so I got one customer for Just Trains, and I'm happy. I'm doing this for transparency and for the fun of it. Thanks, guys, for staying with me, even though it is driving you crazy with those constant interruptions and the outages. No, that's fine. He says, Akura gifted a tier 1 to CD Radar. Yes, take that instead. I thank you so much for that. It is really great to feel the support, and I'm so happy that you're here every Sunday with us. CD Radar, Spectre, everybody else who dropped in and dropped out because of the stupid outages. We will see how things are next week. Will be another busy week for me, and soonish we will have the Stuttgart Heilbronn DLC released and a lot of things to look at. Make the best out of your time and your lives. Be nice to each other, and see you soon. Bye bye.